Hello, everybody. Kristina Wolf here. I have with me today Luci McMonagle, and this is another session of Energy Mastery, creating systems to support your best life. Luci, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I'm an abundance breakthrough coach, and women entrepreneurs hire me so that they can have the ultimate freedom and ultimate wealth in their business and in their life.
Oh, that sounds really good. I like the way that sounds. So tell me about abundance. What does that mean to you?
So, abundance to me means that you're able to do what you want, when you want, and how you want, with whom you want.
Very good. So I find that in the focus of this series was for entrepreneurs and coaches that are starting out. And what I was finding with other coaches that were starting out, they were having a hard time kind of getting in the flow of what they wanted to do because they hadn't quite built up these habits or ways of thinking around their time or their personal energy, and in turn their money wasn't coming to them either. So when we talk about abundance, that could mean time abundance, that could mean personal energy, you're either exhausted or you're lit up. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. When you're first starting, it can be really, really difficult because a lot of individuals, they'll start the business and most of them are extremely intelligent. They feel great. They've got good skills. Everybody tells them they're great and they should start their own business. And then once they get into it, they're like, "Oh, how hard can this be?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They haven't built the systems behind sustaining it. Yeah.
Exactly. So then they start getting into it, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, I need to do this, and I need to do that, and this person has this opinion, and that person has that opinion," and then they start getting confused, and then they start questioning themselves, because when they were in the corporate world or when they were in the regular business, they were outstanding. They were like stellar. And now they're having to learn how to have the sales conversation. They're having to learn how to create the packages and how do I move forward. And most of them get stuck back into trading hours for dollars because they don't know what else they can do. And then all they wanted to do was have more time, have more freedom, and have more joy. That's why they started the business. And then
They
all of
got
a
back into
sudden,
that old habit of stress and yes.
right, and now they're having more stress, they're having more frustration, they're having more irritation, they're working more hours than they ever worked before,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not making the money that they used to make before.
So they're almost
So
behind where they were when they started.
it appears that they're behind from where they started. So one of the things that seems counterintuitive, but it works, and it works across the board, is taking 5 minutes out when you first wake up in the morning and really starting to center yourself by doing a short meditation, whether you use a mantra for the meditation, whether you listen to a meditation that you've seen on YouTube, or whether you just sit there and be silent to the best of your ability. It's okay if your thoughts come and your thoughts go, but just take that time out for yourself. And when you do that every morning, you start creating more energy. So energetically, you start, instead of pushing and pushing, pushing to try to get the money, to try to get the business, to try to get the clients, all of a sudden you're pulling inward.
So it's that yin and yang instead of so much going outward, you're allowing it
It's
to come.
it's instead of, it's kind of like you're chasing a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs always run when you chase them, but when you stand still and you dangle the bone in their hand, which is your centered energeticness, then they come to you. Not
Yeah.
that people are dogs, don't
No,
misunderstand.
it's
But
just they were, yeah.
energetically, you become a magnet for your tribe, your clients, the people you were meant to serve.
Yeah.
Then they're coming to you. And that doesn't mean that you have to stand still and not do anything, not put yourself out there, not marketing. It just means that when you start this practice, when you start creating the inner energetics of becoming a magnet, then you're not running until you fall.
Allowing and creating space actually is doing something.
Yes, it is doing something. It's being. And when you're in a state of being, that's when you start receiving.
And I find that a lot of women have struggles around that. I don't know I mean, when you think about us as the yin and the yang, typically we think of feminine as allowing and receiving, but I think in our culture right now, a lot of women, that piece is missing. It's kind of like so prevalent that people don't even know that it's there, that they don't have that ability to receive. And once they tap into that, and like you say, it's counterintuitive, because we're all busy, going. And I know many entrepreneur women are moms, they got another business, they've got, several other responsibilities, and to stop and to sit back and allow, because I'm guilty of being very type A and being busy but not productive. You don't know how to create that space. As soon as there's that space, you fill it up with something else, some sort of fluff or something, another stressor, and then you're back to square one going, I don't know why I'm so stressed out. So I totally agree with that whole allowing and centeredness and receiving. Can you give us some examples about how to get to that place? Because if you're like going 1,000 miles per hour, it could be like stopping horses in midstream to get centered.
Exactly. And I have a technique. It's called focused, balanced, centered. And you can do this in 30 seconds or less. So if you say, I don't have the time, you have 30 seconds. You will find 30 seconds.
And that's really appealing to the busy but not productive kind of mindset,
Yes, it is.
I don't have lots of time to calm down.
Exactly. So what you do is you put your fingers together like this. This is called a mudra.
Mm-hmm.
And now the second part, and you can relax your arms. They don't have to hold them up. I'm just showing the camera.
Okay.
And then the second part of this is you have your fingers like this, is you take the tip of your tongue, mm-hmm. and you feel on the top of your mouth, there's a little mound in the center.
Mm-hmm.
You hold the tip of your tongue on that mound, mm-hmm. like that. Try not to laugh too much. And then you can close your eyes. It's best, but you don't have to. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes. And then take a nice deep breath in. We're going to do 3 deep breaths all the way down to our toes. And when you breathe out through your nose. So, and then breathe out. And then one last time. Now on the 4th breath, we want to breathe in what you're looking for. So right now we're going to breathe in focused, balanced, centered. And then you can breathe out through your nose, or if you can hold the tongue on the tip of your mouth, you can breathe out through your mouth. Then you do that 2 more times. Breathe in, focused, balanced, centered. Hold it for a second, then breathe it out. And then one last time, breathe in, focused, balanced, centered. And then when you breathe out, let go of the tip of your tongue, let go of your fingers. Breathe out through your mouth, and then open your eyes, and then feel where you're at.
Wow, that's pretty powerful for just 30 seconds. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's 6 breaths. And
wow.
That's it. And a lot of times that'll start slowing down your mind so that you can catch the thoughts that are actually sabotaging you that you're not aware of.
Hmm. Yeah, that's like a check-in process.
It's like a
Self-checking.
check-in process. And let's say you would rather say balanced, focus, centered. That's fine. Let's say you just want to say balance, balance, balance. That's fine. It doesn't matter what words you use. What really matters is this closes your energetics for your body, and then the tongue closes the loop so the energy goes in a circular motion. So energetically, you are becoming a self-contained unit, which makes you magnetic.
Nice.
And then the breathing helps sink that in. Now, the other part about this is once you start doing this 3, 4, 5 times a day, instead of having to stop and do the 6 breaths, eventually you can just go like this, and all of a sudden your mind stops. Boom, silence.
So you're training
You're training yourself. Some
calm.
people say that this is kind of like an NLP technique. I'm not a practitioner of NLP, but if it works, it works.
That what NLP is a little bit, because I've never heard.
NLP is neuro linguistics programming, and it's where you have some type of a physical movement in order to anchor something in.
Oh, I see. Kind of similar to like tapping or something like that, but
no, NLP can be used like if you're talking to the audience and you're a public speaker and you touch somebody's shoulder and you look down at them, that can be anchoring what you're saying to them. That's an NLP technique.
Oh, okay, good. I never.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. From the little tiny bit that I know about it, the techniques I learned was well before NLP became popular. Some people might call it that.
Okay.
It's
same response though. Same.
What you're doing is you're programming your mind, you're programming your body so that you can slow down, let go of the stress, which is really, really important, because when you do this and you stop for a moment, you stop the stress. And then if your mind is racing all of the time, it's just a way to start slowing down your thoughts enough so that you can start tracking your thoughts if you really want to find out what's holding you back and what's sabotaging you.
So let's kind of talk about the thoughts piece. What's the next step once you feel like you're...
So the next step is you can, and this doesn't have to be together. You can do these 2 separately, but the next step would be to really find out, how are your thoughts affecting your reality? Because first there's thought, then there's word, then there's action. So to find out what your thoughts are doing, I came up with a system way back 20 some years ago. I used an index card, but today you can use your cell phone, or you can use a pad and paper or a journal or whatever. And what I did was I made 4 columns on an index card. I'd put the date, and then I would put positive, negative, happy, or sad. And this is what it would look like. So, and this is a really big index card.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so I would put this here, and what I would do is I would carry this little index card with me.
Do you still use the index card version of it, or do you do your cell phone?
I use the index card version of it.
You know what? Pen to paper, I've heard that just writing stuff tends to be like you say, one of those brain learning mechanisms where you hold it in better.
Yes. I still like using the index card. I could turn around and pull some index cards on my desk and show you, but I don't use the big ones. This is just for the example so that you could see it.
Sure.
And now you have the index card, you have the date, and then I use like little tally marks, and tally marks are just 4 lines and then a dash across them to equal 5. And I would just track my thoughts. Is this a positive thought? Is this a negative thought? Is this thought making me happy? Is this thought making me sad? And I would put a tally mark on one of those columns. doing the best that I can not to judge myself. Because when I first started this, I had ADHD. I believe I was borderline bipolar because I had racing thoughts and I always had emotions up and down. I was never diagnosed with any of those things. But when I started doing this, my emotions slowed down. I didn't start spiking emotionally. And then I was also able to really look at most of my thoughts were negative or sad. And I was like, ooh, that might explain my reality.
But it's good. Then you're just sort of taking note at that point. That's good.
Right. You're just taking note at that point without judging yourself. Now, after you track it for about a week, or you can just do it for a day or two if you don't want to do it for a week, then you start catching your negative thoughts that are making you sad as quickly as you can, and then you choose to say the opposite of that thought.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say one of your thoughts is, I really feel bad about this number on the scale, or I feel really, really bad because I didn't get enough sleep, or whatever the thought is. And you can stop that, and then you can consciously choose to say the opposite by saying, I'm really, really grateful that today I have the ability to choose what I want to eat, or choose what I want to drink, or you can say something that's the opposite of whatever the thought is. And then, of course, when you start using this and anchoring that new positive thought, that's going to really be helpful. If you have a thought that's running in your head over and over again, do you ever get a song stuck in your head?
Yes.
Sometimes we get thoughts stuck in our head. I'm going to show you the eject button. I love the eject button. I believe it's saved my life in many occasions.
I'm looking forward to this.
So if you have thoughts that keep coming up, or you keep having those negative thoughts that are just making you feel bad, or worse yet, you're having the thoughts of, like, maybe it was somebody you didn't like when you were growing up and they were antagonizing you, and you have their thoughts stuck in here. So right here in this little spot right here, it's not the third eye. It's right in between the brows right here. You just gently touch it, and then imagine your fingers a magic wand. You're pulling that out, and then you're dropping it into the garbage can or recycle bin, but I'd rather not recycle the thoughts. Sometimes I just put it in the shredder.
Yeah.
And then what I do with the index card is, at the end of the week, if I had a really, really bad week and I had all these negative and sad thoughts, I burn it. I rip it up and I burn it. And I get rid of those thoughts permanently.
So it's symbolic, but also a physical way to really just release that energy.
Correct. It's symbolic because you're burning away the old so that you can bring in the new, and fire does purification. So energetically, you're purifying those thoughts.
Nice. That's
yes.
Good. Now, do you find that it's better to not really examine the content of your thoughts, just to sort of examine, am I happy or sad, like how it's making you feel versus exactly what it is that you're thinking?
I just suggest on how the thought feels, because if you need to get into and really start digging out and examining the actual thoughts and where they came from and how do they come to be, then you may need to have professional help to really sort through those emotions. A lot of times we have residual thoughts as we're adults, and we really don't understand that we have a choice.
Right.
And one of the main things is if you don't like that thought, instead of obsessing about it and trying to figure out where it came from, just get rid of it. Or change it to a thought that feels better.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't think they're in the habit or no habit of controlling their thoughts. And it's one thing you can control, really.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, exactly.
So we've got a good centering exercise, and then how to examine how your thoughts are making you feel and really track the amount of negative thoughts that you're having in order to check in with yourself and really monitor it so that you can then change that habit, right? And then get rid of it. Get rid of it. Let it go.
You get rid of it, let it go, and replace it. Because once you get rid of it, you have an empty space, and your mind will automatically want to fill that space. So you'd want to replace it with positive.
And that would be your passion, the work that you want to do. You freed yourself up for your gifts that you have to give to the world, basically, which is pretty much where a lot of our entrepreneurs are, because they get so caught up in that, I guess I would call it clogged energy, and instead of being able to move forward and get in the flow. I think it's really good. It's great. It's so simple, and I think that's what's going to be really helpful to listeners, is that you don't have to just make an enormous change to have an enormous benefit. Because just doing that breathing exercise was really helpful, just for 30 seconds. It's amazing how much that was helpful. Yeah, definitely. Yes. So, do you want to add anything else to the conversation?
Absolutely. I would like to really empower you, as we talked about in the beginning of this, is if you just take about 5 minutes to yourself, for yourself in the morning, you're going to have better results. One of the main things that entrepreneurs feel when they're on their journeys, they feel lonely and they don't feel supported. And so what I've produced is I created a meditation for you, for your audience, that's going to allow you to understand that the universe is for you.
Yes, that's good. Definitely.
And it's a really short meditation. The link's going to be in the email that you send out to individuals, and it'll be on the page, because I really, really want to empower you. The meditation is under 10 minutes, I believe, and it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, and it really will help you really, truly feel supported. And when you feel supported by the universe, when you feel supported by your surroundings, that's when you can do your best work.
Yes, definitely. I agree with that totally. Thank you so much, Luci. Just in the few minutes that we've been speaking, I feel so much calmer and centered, really, that I can't stress how beneficial that is, your mindset. And out of that centeredness comes the receiving of the time abundance, the money abundance, the personal energy. Just already, I feel like even after working maybe a long day, just doing that, you're just like in a completely different place.
Exactly.
Very good.
And I'll give you 2 more tips. Is when you do this, you can actually start slowing down time. Now, don't tell everybody, okay? But you accomplish a lot more faster because you're in centered. And then the other tip is go to my website, check out my articles. I have some incredible articles that will help you as an entrepreneur to really move forward. My website is lucimcmonagle.com, and I'll spell that for you just in case. It's lucimcmonagle.com. And she'll also have the links available for that. Now, you have to make sure you check the email, because you won't find the meditation on my website. So This is special just for your tribe.
Oh, thank you. Luci, you've been so generous with your time. Thank you so much. And that's all for today, everybody. Thank you.